For the purposes of historical analysis and discourse, the following essay builds upon archival research, widely accepted historical accounts, and relevant secondary literature. Tito's role demonstrated that even non-aligned states could have a robust voice in international politics, setting a precedent for the inclusive, pluralistic nature of NAM that persists today. Jawar Lal Nehru, the Indian architect of non-alignment. Nehru's ideological foundations. Jawar Lal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister, was a key intellectual and political leader who articulated the need for an independent foreign policy that was not chained to either Cold War bloc. His belief in secularism, democracy, and rationalism was influenced by his personal experiences during the colonial struggle and his familiarity with both Western and Indian philosophies. For Nehru, non-alignment was not a mere strategy for neutrality, it was a principled stance that would allow India, and by extension, other emerging nations, to assert their right to self-determination and to engage in global affairs without undue external pressure. The Panchsheel Doctrine and its impact. Nehru played a decisive role in conceptualizing and disseminating the principles that would eventually serve as a basis for NAM. One of his significant contributions was the articulation of the Panchsheel, 5 Principles of Peaceful Coexistence, which originally evolved from the bilateral framework of Indochina relations and expanded to symbolize non-aligned behavior. The Panchsheel principles, mutual respect for sovereignty, mutual non-aggression, non-interference in domestic affairs, equality, and peaceful coexistence, captured the essence of non-alignment as envisioned by Nehru. These principles not only bolstered India's standing within the emerging post-colonial order but also provided a normative framework that was widely adopted by other nations at the Bandung Conference and later formal meetings of NAM. Nehru's intellectual rigor and moral clarity in promoting these ideas undergirded India's reputation as a steadfast proponent of an international order free from the divisions imposed by Cold War rivalries. Diplomatic initiatives. Nehru's proactive diplomacy was manifested in his frequent travels, multilateral engagements, and his pivotal role at key conferences. He was among the first to articulate the need for a formal assembly of non-aligned states, a vision that was realized in the Belgrade Conference of 1961. Throughout this period, Nehru's speeches conveyed an earnest appeal for collective action among newly independent states to resist coercive external influences. His public pronouncements made it clear that India was prepared to stand as a beacon of a new world order, one based on cooperation rather than confrontation. Nehru's diplomatic efforts were not without challenges. India's own navigation of regional conflicts and economic pressures sometimes led to criticisms regarding the consistency of its non-alignment policy. However, his unwavering commitment to principles over expediency helped consolidate the intellectual foundation of NAM and earned India, and indeed the world, a lasting example of how emerging nations could assert their autonomy in a divided international system. The enduring influence of Nehru. The impact of Nehru's vision resonates strongly even today. His insistence on peace, dialogue, and respect for national sovereignty forged a path that many developing countries continue to follow. Beyond his political legacy, Nehru's writings, speeches, and policies continue to inspire global movements toward equitable development and disarmament. His contributions to NAM, therefore, are remembered not only as historical milestones but also as guiding principles for international engagements based on moral and ethical imperatives.